Spoilers for the latest Kenobi episode, episode 5, so if you haven't seen it, click off the video. I wanted to talk a bit about death in Star Wars, specifically by the route of being stabbed by a lightsaber. Because in the Kenobi show, as we've seen, the Grand Inquisitor gets stabbed, and then later he's totally fine, as if nothing happened. It kind of felt like a somehow the Grand Inquisitor returned sort of moment. And then we see in this latest episode that the third sister, Reva, not only got stabbed as a youngling, but she got stabbed again. But she's also fine, which really doesn't make sense. I don't get it. How is my biggest question, because Qui-Gon dies from being stabbed in episode 1. Then in episode 3, in a deleted scene, Shaak Ti gets stabbed by General Grievous and she dies. Another scene is Palpatine versus Jedi Masters. He stabs one of them and he dies. And in another deleted scene, Anakin stabs Shaak Ti and she dies again. She also dies in Force Unleashed, if you didn't know that. Shaak Ti dies but doesn't die. It's really weird. Also in episode 3, we see Yoda throw his light. I think this part's actually kind of cool, but he throws his lightsaber into a clone, but it still counts as a stab. So did he die? And then in Force Awakens even, Finn stabs a stormtrooper with a lightsaber. And then Han Solo gets stabbed by Kylo Ren. So are all of those people still alive? Or are they saying what actually killed Han is the fall, not the stab? Retroactively, would that mean everybody that's ever been stabbed by a lightsaber is alive? With Qui-Gon, they actually burned him alive. He wasn't dead. They just burned him alive. And then in the infamous Last Jedi fight, a couple dudes get stabbed. One of them gets thrown into a shredder. Kylo stabs a couple dudes, apparently on Mustafar at the beginning of The Rise of Skywalker. And then Kylo gets stabbed later in the movie. And then Rey force heals him. So did she not need to force heal him? Was he just gonna be able to walk it off or something? From what we're seeing in the show, Kenobi right now, you can walk off a stabbing. Doesn't matter. You'll live. Get up. Also, later in The Rise of Skywalker, when Kylo's fighting, or Ben is fighting the Knights of Ren, he stabs 2 of them. So should they be alive? Should they not be dead? Now jump into Clone Wars. Barriss Offee stabs a clone. That weird guy, I can't remember his name, gets stabbed by Anakin. It's a great Anakin, Obi-Wan, Satine. It's a great moment in the show. But yeah, he stabs the dude, so he's dead, right? And Ventress stabs that one traitor dude. She also stabs that clone in that really creepy scene. The scene you use if you want to prove that Star Wars isn't for kids. And then Anakin stabs the father and the son in the Mortis arc, and they both die, and they're super powerful Force users. But they die. Ventress stabs the dude that's hitting on her in that bar. In that bounty hunter episode. Satine, for crying out loud. Satine dies by stabbing. You're going to tell me that Satine could have walked that off? She was fine? She's not actually dead? So is she not dead, or is she dead? Savage, stinking Savage, gets stabbed and dies. So Savage gets stabbed and he dies, but the Grand Inquisitor and Reva, who wouldn't hold a candle to Savage, live. Doesn't make sense. Really doesn't. Anakin stabs Admiral Trench in Season 7 of the Clone Wars. He dies. And then, here's the interesting thing. In Fallen Order, Cal gets stabbed, though it is on his side, and it kind of looks like he catches it. In another scene, you can see that it didn't go all the way through because there's no hole in his back. So, I don't know. Maybe stabbings don't do anything. Also, Pong Krell. He probably stabbed a bunch of clones, but I didn't want to show him doing it because I hate Pong Krell. So, I'm kind of wondering, can you die by stab in Star Wars? Or do you live by stab in Star Wars? Though I do have one last question. Does this guy live? Or he dead? Like, yeah, it is a face shot, but it's still a stab, right?